What's up YouTube, I'm just another guy and welcome back to Gibraltar United. So here we are now at the end of season update that I wanted to meet you back for. What we've got today is we've got a sort of season summary thing. We'll go into, you know, how the league has grown, how the club has grown. We've also got the Champions League draw coming up, and we'll also talk about, of course, how the league table ended, how we did in the cups and all that stuff. So one thing I want to start off first with is the boardroom. Now, we have got our training and youth facilities both going to be improved. As you can see as well, youth is currently in process. We managed to get them both re-put in place. And what it does mean is financially we're now under £1 million in terms of how much we've got in the bank. But I think that was, you know, that was something I was willing to pay. So last season we ended up making a loss of £96,000 because, you know, once the Champions League was put in place, plus the loss we make per month from playing in this division with the wage budget we have, you know, once all that was put into place, we've ended up losing money, which is the first time since I've been here, so, you know, that we've actually lost money. So I can't be too disappointed with that. But it means it's probably unlikely we're going to turn professional. I did ask to turn professional, and the response from the chairman was, I think we can still claim fame as a semi-pro team. Everyone loves an underdog. He said something like that. I didn't write down the exact thing that he said, but it was something along the lines of that. And that annoyed the shit out of me. Now, I'm sorry, but you're willing to hold back the club because you want to be the underdogs. You want to be seen as that team, that semi-pro team that beat that professional team on that one occasion in the Champions League. Now, I'm sorry, I'd rather do well, you know, have a real good future, have youngsters playing professional football from the age of 16, you know, to whenever, you know, and growing the players we currently have to good enough levels to challenge bigger teams in the Champions League, than have that one lucky fluky story. And I don't understand the logic behind that. As a man who would clearly want to do best by the club, you know, how could you not see being professional as doing the best for the club? You know, if he maybe had said financially we can't support it, that's a more logical reason. Then I would walk away and I'd be happy. But I tried fighting it. I tried saying, look, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. I kept getting no, no, no. And in the end, I'd run out of all options that I could say, apart from, you know, I'm leaving if we don't turn professional. And I can't really say that. So, not turning professional, we are improving facilities next season. That is officially confirmed this time, which is a good thing. And that is sort of the backroom around the club. So, competitions-wise, we have... Oh, this is last season, so we can't actually go into this. But we can do it from here. So, in the league, it's currently a relegation playoff being played. Oh, god damn it, go click on it again. We did win the league, as you would expect. We ended up going on to lose 3 games in the season and draw 1. In a year that we conceded 16 goals, which I think was twice as many, more than twice as many as we conceded last year, and scored 43, which was 7 less. Which was 7 less than we scored last year. Really wasn't a good year for us, and in fact, the whole year as a whole wasn't a good year. We got smashed in the Champions League, but we probably played one of the most reputable teams at the second qualifying phase with Dynamo. We lost a lot in the league. We actually didn't win a quad, which surprised me. And yeah, and overall as well, we didn't win the Rock Cup. If I go on to last season, we didn't win the Rock Cup. We lost to Angels 1-0 in the semi-final of the Rock Cup. Just wow, innit? Just wow. How we were unable to do that. Oh, this is why. Because our strikers can't perform consistently enough. Gregory had a bad game. Barcelo had a bad game, who was playing up front. We even brought De Rosario on. He had a bad game. Coling for this game was suspended. All of it compiled onto us not getting through to the Rock Cup final minimum. We didn't win that. And it was not a good year. We ended up going on to lose to College Europa on the last day of the season. When I last left you off was the final, so as you can see, we lost to Lions as well. We drew to Lions as well, but we were 2-0 up in that game and threw it away. And again, look at the ratings. Coling, poor. In his College Europa game, Coling, Gregory, poor. Harrison, poor. Made a mistake that's cost the last goal. Who else? Where was another game when we drew? Britannia. Coling, poor. It's just so annoying how I'm seeing these consistent players continue to play badly in certain games, in particular games, and it costs us. It costs us results. And the thing is, like, but, you know, like I said, Coling played poor in them few games that I've pointed out. But if we looked at his season as a whole, in all competitions, 17 goals and 18 assists. You can't argue with that. It's just so frustrating that these guys do put in good performances as a whole, but them individual times when they don't play well ends up affecting the whole team because we rely on them a lot. I mean, it's pretty good when they play well because we rely on them. It means when they do play well, the whole club plays well, the whole team plays well. But when they don't play well, we see the club struggles, and we see that a bit like a Suarez and Liverpool right now. We rely heavily on our strikers to perform, and they haven't been this season on certain occasions. As a result, defeat to Bredania, defeat to Angels, defeat to College Europa, defeat to Lions, and defeat to Lincoln. I keep, for some reason, want to say defeat. But yeah, just a poor year, really poor year all round. In comparison to the past few years. I mean, you still can't argue with the fact you've won the league, but we should be doing it in style now. It should just be a walk in the park. We should be trying to push for a whole season without conceding, not still looking for our first ever undefeated season. Anyway, to the team, because actually I've continued, I think, a little bit too far forward. You won't be able to see stats from last year, but what we can do is just have a little look here. So as you see, Dale Coling had a year, wasn't as good as last year, of course, conceded a lot of goals, played every single league game this season, and overall still pretty decent goalkeeper. Jason Coling, we've already seen. De Rosario played 6 games, wasn't able to score. Duarte was able to do pretty well for his second full season, really, playing for us since starting majority of the games. And overall, can't really complain with him. But again, one of them people that, is inconsistent on that occasion. And when he plays, because we rely quite a lot on our wingers and our strikers. They don't play well, we see it, in the fact that we don't score. Jose Luis Enrique played 6 games for us last season, but as a backup player. Gregory had his best goal-scoring season with 14 goals in the league, including 25 in all competitions in 26 starts. So, really good year for him, but again, inconsistency problems. Tom Harrison didn't have a particularly good year in comparison to his past 2 years, and again was at fault for quite a few mistakes in the team, in the defence. Victor Lopez had a really good year for his first year, pushing through the Gibraltar national team now. 4 appearances, did particularly well. Let me go back on the Gibraltar team. We'll just sort of look at it as an overall now. Terry Brown did well. Did really well for the guy, again, who was pretty much the rock in the centre of the park. Had his best average rating performance in the league for us. Only missing 1 game as well, which I think was through suspension. Barcelo didn't do particularly well. I'm going to give him 1 more year, but if I don't see a step up, or I see the inconsistency problems I saw last year, then he may be leaving the side. Because we do have Baldwin, waiting in the wings, waiting to pounce on an opportunity to get into this first team, because he himself played really well in the league and in the cups as well. He's particularly good for us this year, and I do like the look of him. I think he's got good potential. So, he needs to be pushing on now, Barcelo. I think I'm pointing out everyone else. Otherwise than that, Byrne is on the bench. Is still in the starting 11. Let's just say I already spoke about Burgess though previously, how he's not going to be in the team too much anymore. He's going to be back up though. He's of course going to be at the squad. Elsewhere, you may notice 2 youngsters currently on the bench as our backup strikers. I think Di Rosario is good to keep here, but I'm going to be trying to put these 2 youngsters on as our backup strikers for the upcoming season. But oh yeah, I didn't really talk about my youth intake either, but we can do that in a second. But yeah, these 2 guys will just be involved or in and around the team. They'll probably be on the bench as well. One of them, probably Clark, because he's got that little bit more potential. And overall, not really got too bad mentals either. So, yeah. But there's also something you may notice is every single person in this starting 11 now is paid a wage. They're all part-time players. And overall, I think, they're some of the best people we can get in this division currently, so I don't really mind putting them all on part-time deals. Gregory is currently going to expire at the end of the season, but I have got a deal on the table. He's just got to accept that. I only offered it to him a few days ago, so that should be all going through. Montegriffo is going to be leaving the side. He'll probably end up retiring from football because based upon the 2 people we released this season who were pretty good, like Moon, he retired. Cornelio, he retired. Vincino we released as well. I didn't actually speak about that. We released him not too long ago actually, so you didn't really miss anything there. But the squad as a whole now, we're paying a lot of wages to our starting guys. As you see, all the backup guys are either on amateur or non-contract deals. That will probably be the same until, if any of them want to leave, that's fine. If any of them were to leave, that'd be fine. And we just put youth on the bench. I just want to pay my starting 11 right now and have the backup boys pay as you play, or £25 a week like the youngsters are. So, yeah, the squad's looking really decent. There are, of course, a few alright youngsters around there or out there currently that I could select if we were to go on get rid of my own players, only get those eligible for Gibraltar. As you see, Alex Reyes, a good right back, 20 caps for Gibraltar. Elsewhere, potential-wise, we've got... Oh, crap. Yeah, we got that off, okay. Potential-wise, you see there are a few good people around. If I actually were to go on age and lower that to around 18 or so, as you see, there are quite a few youngsters with decent potential. They could even be, 5-star if they were trained up correctly. But I don't particularly see myself grabbing any of them. Currently, they're all playing football for their respective teams or whatever, or they're quite literally just come through the team. For example, I think Mark Reeves is like 15. He's 16. He may be pushing his way into the College Europa team. Either way, though, I can't really see myself signing him and just putting him in my reserve. So I don't really think we're going to be doing any action in the transfer market this summer. Eric's actually one guy I kind of want, but I'm not actually sure if he is currently being released or not. Let me have a look. If he is currently being released, it is Scott Wiseman. Just won't talk to me. What I did is I did the thing where he said, I'm not interested in joining you. I said, look, I think you can become a legend at the side, and you'd be really good. You'll be an icon. He said, oh, that interests me, and I thought, yes, I'm getting there. I'm going to be able to offer him a contract. Went to offer him a contract. He says, his agent comes to me and says this, my client isn't interested in negotiating to you. He just said he was interested in at least seeing what I had to offer, but apparently he's not anymore. But his contract's expiring with Exeter, and hopefully he'll be released, and then maybe if he's released, we can try and get Scott Wiseman, who is currently the most capped player for Gibraltar, and overall I think would be a good addition to the side. Even though he's 33, I think we could use him for a few years, and maybe then look to incorporate him into the coaching setup. That wouldn't be too bad of an option. One of the early pioneers for Gibraltarian football, really, in a way. Under 21s, we do that now, then we'll talk about how the league's growing and all that stuff and all that malarkey. Under 21s, we've won a game. We beat Andorra 2-1 recently. We also lost 4-2 to San Marino, but at one point we were at 3-2. We could have maybe drawn that game. It was disappointing we didn't walk away with anything there. We lost to Wales 3-0, and we narrowly lost to Faroe Islands 2-1. And actually, this was the game where we took the lead and we threw it away. So, not looking too bad against teams sort of around us at the bottom of the European or the world rankings. The teams like Andorra, San Marino, Faroe Islands, they're not particularly high. The teams we sort of meet in the first qualifying phase as well, the Champions League. We do have Slovenia, Estonia, England, Ukraine, of course, in the under 21s qualifiers. That's going to be really, really tough. Estonia will probably be the team we'll have to try and look to get something against, but I highly doubt we'll be able to do that. Typically, Estonia have some half-decent youngsters coming through their ranks. But let's move on and talk about the league and all that stuff and etc, etc. So, let me scroll down here because stuff has happened pretty recently. So, Fans Player of the Year went to Callum Gregory, 39% of the votes going to him. Lincoln are still the most reputable team in Gibraltar. Somehow, I don't really know how still, but they are. We have grown in reputation a little bit apparently. We still rake in, or bring in, I want to say, bringing the most money through sponsorships, £24,000 a year. And when you consider the fact the whole league only generates 80,000, that is a real large percentage of that. Scroll down a little bit more, we should be finding some more things. European competition growth, we improved 39 places to be the 149th best competition in Europe. Again, the most moving top flight division. It means we are now above the English regional divisions. As you can see, I looked at it previously. Surrounded by a lot of Ukrainian regional divisions, Serbian zone league. Another top division which is pretty near us is the Republic of Ireland Airtricity First Division, which I think is the top league, isn't it? I think I discovered that last time. It is, I believe. Oh no, it's not. It's the Premier Division. Wait, oh, is that Shamrock? Oh, I looked at that Shamrock and thought it was Shamrock A, or the main Shamrock. Oh, so it's the second division of the Irish League. So where's the closest top division? I think there's a way I can do that if I boop that and boop that. This is going to probably lag like hell, so I might cut it here. It did lag like hell a little. So let's have a look at the top division. So we're now the third lowest ranked top division, but the Faroe Islands is above us. The Maltese, I think that's what it is. Divisions above us. Luxembourg, Northern Ireland. Where's Wales? Wales is there. So we shouldn't be too far off them now. We see a 39 position growth. If we can get that sort of growth again, we could become a run-star reputed league, which would be good for the whole, for every team in this league, because we could attract more people, and maybe it might be a little easier to turn pro. Anyway, to club rankings, we moved up 111 places to rank 348th. It still doesn't mean our coefficient points are particularly good. As you see, we're now like above the likes of Flora from Estonia. HB, we're below them from Faroe Islands. So still not particularly great. Our coefficient points for the upcoming year will be 3.733, which isn't enough to get us seeded. So it's going to be another tough draw this year in the Champions League. And apart from that, I don't think there's anything else I particularly need to talk about. Qualification places, that didn't change. Let me go on here and I'll show you. Qualification places, that did not change. We still have one team entering. Where are we? There you go. We still have one team entering the first qualifying phase and 3 teams entering the second qualifying phase. We're 49th now. We need to be up into 46th if we want a team entering the second qualifying phase, which would of course be the winner of the league, me. So, we'll have a look. We'll be looking to try and maybe even do that this year if we have a good run in Europe, which, fingers crossed we do. So, I think that's all I can really talk about. We spoke about the club, we spoke about how the league's grown, the club's grown, all that stuff, all that malarkey. Let's talk about teams who got into Europe. So, the Rock Cup ended up going to Angels. They're currently in a relegation playoffs, but they will be featuring in the Europa League this season. So that is, good on them. Elsewhere, Lions, of course, get it for being 3rd place, so they're in the Europa League, and also College Europa get in the Europa League. So for the first time ever in the game, Lincoln will not be in European football. So that will obviously hinder their reputation a little bit. That could mean next year we're the most reputable team in or from Gibraltar. But yeah, it will be a first time for a lot of these people, and I particularly think Lions could do well. Remember, this is only their second year back in the Premier Division, and they've already got Europa League football, so I do quite like them. I think they're a decent squad. They could be our closest challengers for the upcoming few years if our growth is stumped. If we don't turn professional due to our owner and things like that, we could see them turning semi-pro, or they are semi-pro, aren't they? We could see them challenging us. So I'll keep an eye out for them, because I do like them. They challenge us, and that's something that not many teams can do. So for that reason, I quite look forward to their games in a way, because I know it's going to be something I'm going to have to watch out for. I'm going to have to be, on it with my team talks, and, thinking about when I'm going to have to change the game up, who's going to be on the bench, who's going to be starting. It's very crucial for them matches. So all that things is pretty good. So yeah, let's go into this draw and we'll have a look at who we've got for the upcoming round, and you can actually see how the first and second round is drawn out. So let's view the draw today. So this is what I mean by groups. I've spoken about it in the past. We will be in group 3, which means we can either get Linfield, HB, or Principat from Andorra. Obviously, we're going to want the team from Andorra, Principat, or HB. We'll probably want HB as well. Ideally, we'll avoid Linfield, because I know that for a fact they'll be a very tough team. Elsewhere as well, like these guys will be playing each other. Then from Group 2, Group 1, them teams will be playing each other. But let's hope we get a little bit of luck here today on the draw. So we will be drawn last. We're at home first, and we'll be playing HB. So could be an interesting game. Hopefully it's one that we can get through, though. I think we're better than the teams from Faroe Islands, so hopefully that'll be us through to the second qualifying phase. And let's move on to that draw. So where will we be? We will be in seed 3, I believe, based upon that. Yep, so we can either get AIK from Sweden, HJK from Finland, Mold from Norway, BATE from Belarus, or FC Copenhagen from Denmark. So we've got the Scandinavian area of Europe. So yeah, let's continue forward. Ideally, we'll avoid the 3 big boys, BATE, Mold, and FC Copenhagen. Hopefully we'll get HJK, who we've played before, or AIK, although AIK will probably be a tougher team, just because, oh, I've picked the wrong team, just because maybe they haven't played in Europe, or they don't play in Europe a lot. Overall, I think HJK will be the team we'll be wanting, which is surprising because we played them a few years ago and we got beaten quite badly. But yeah, so let's have a look and see who we get. So, BATE, we don't get them, which is good. We have not been drawn there. Alright, this team from Georgia plays Serbia. Linfield will get HJK. Oh, that's the team we wanted. So we know it's going to be a tough game. It's either going to be Mold or FC Copenhagen. And who's the one we're going to want to avoid? It's probably going to be FC Copenhagen we're going to want to avoid. Let's go forward anyway. See what we get. Oh, we avoid FC Copenhagen. So we're going to get Mold, who hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I believe I am. And that is going to be a really, really tough game. How have they done in the past when they've played in these competitions? Europa League group stages, Champions League. They actually got knocked out to... sorry, I went far forward there. They actually got knocked out to KR, who themselves aren't exactly a brilliant team. Maybe there is a fighting chance. You know, okay, last year they did really well. They beat Velate, though, who, I don't know, they beat them quite heavily. Tel Aviv, they beat them as well, who battered us. So, I don't know. Let's hope that, you know, their players, have they got any real players? They do. Let's hope that, oh, they've actually got some quite high value players. 19-year-old, pretty decent centre-back. He's out for a while, actually. Let's hope that, you know, maybe they're having an off day. I don't know. We're going to have to hope for a lot of things going wrong and a lot of things going right for us. But either way, I'll meet you back for the first qualifying phase in a few days' time, because that's how close, you know, we play. And the 7th of July, it's now the 24th of June. So, either way, guys, until then, peace out.